Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. It's been way too long since we got behind the bar here and drank something together. I figured it's as good of a time as any. I'm thirsty, and you're here, so we might as well have a drink together. It just so happens, though, that the folks over at Westside sent me a message last week and said that they are getting ready to release their Barleywine, which they do every single year on January 1st to kind of kick off the new year. And this year they were going to package it not only with the new one, the 2024, but they were going to put it in a 4-pack with 2021 also, so people can kind of see the difference between the two different years. They want to know if I had interest in swinging by and picking some up and trying them. Of course I do. Of course. Anytime somebody has a beer and they want to give it to me, I'm game to try it. I've actually been saving this Barleywine for a while, different years, waiting for an opportunity like this. Tonight is not the night to sit and drink all of these, though. I still have to make it upstairs to go to bed. If I sleep down here, I'm gonna get in trouble. So we're not gonna do that. But we are gonna do a side-by-side of the 2024 and the 2021. But when I was prepping for this, I came to the realization that I don't really know that much about Barleywine. So I've spent the last week reading every book that I have here in the library. It is a library. There's a lot of books. There's some here, but there's some over there, and there's some over there, and there's some in my office. There's books everywhere, and a lot of them were about beer. So I dug into everything that has any mention of barley wine to see if I could kind of understand what this style is. And I think I've got a pretty good grasp on it. Still not an expert, but I think I have a good grasp on it. Historically, the style started when English ales were much more, there wasn't a lot of separation between the different styles. It was a mild ale, but a little bit stronger than most of the other milds. It was often aged in casks for a while, and the name Barleywine didn't start until Bass decided one day to call their number one a Barleywine. It was a marketing thing. It didn't really become a style term, like widely accepted, until after World War II, and that's when other breweries started calling things barley wines. From there, it kept evolving, kind of got lost a little bit to time of what that beer was. It got a lot paler, a lot lighter, a lot more modern, until craft breweries in the United States kind of resurrected the style. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on who you are, they took the style and took this big kind of malty sweet beer and tried to balance it out with hops, which made this new style, which is an American barley wine, which is still great. Shout out to Anchor with Old Foghorn, Sierra Nevada with Bigfoot. There's a lot of really great American barley wines, but they are hoppier than what English barley wines were. I believe that this is more of an English one. Let's read. It says, brewed once a year in December for a release the following January 1st. Our Barleywine style ale is a beer to drink fresh or age. It's intense with a subtle date-like fruitiness that goes perfect with a big, layered, malty body. Classic American hops add firm bitterness and a bit of dryness to the finish to help balance the malt. Yeah, so maybe it is American style. I don't know. We'll know more once we try it. But the really fun thing about Barleywine is that it ages amazingly well. Over time, some of those hops drop out, and some of the big malty sweetness kind of comes more forward. Other layers start to show themselves that you might not get fresh. So we just grabbed 2 random snifters off of the shelf, and we're gonna dive into these. The best way to understand a beer style is just to drink it, to drink a bunch of it. Drink as much of it as you can get. So that's what we're gonna do here. Don't mind my dirty glasses. Tried to rinse them as best I could, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. It's fine. If any style can handle a little bit of dust in it, it's probably a barley wine. All right. They look fairly similar. The aged one, the 2021, might be a little bit more cloudy. I mean, it's definitely, this one has more clarity to it. But other than that, they look pretty similar, same color, same idea. I'm going to dive into the fresh one first. I don't know if that's the way you should do this, but we're gonna give it a go. I assume that this is going to be a little bit hoppier, a little bit brighter, a little bit more. This is probably the way to go first, since it's going to be a little more subdued, but let's see. I still get like a big, like a figgy kind of date, dark fruit kind of thing. This is not, there are a lot of other, like I said, American barley wines that almost come off as like a big kind of double or triple IPA because there's so much hops in them. Which actually I believe that American double IPAs probably evolved from American barley wines. There's probably some road there that's how that happened. Trivia. Might not be accurate trivia, but it's trivia. No, that's great. There's definitely some hops there, especially at the end, but that's still a barley wine. Man, it's big, smooth, malty. That would be really good with like, God, it would be good with smoked meat. It would be good with cheese, like a big like a Gouda maybe. Oh, that's begging to be paired up with food. I didn't think I was gonna love the fresh one as much as I actually do. Love that right now. Ooh, that's good. Let's dive into the aged one. This is aged for 3 years. Oh yeah, so there's a discussion here a little bit about what happens when you age beer. And there are some things that fall back, like hops and stuff like that, the hoppy bitterness. There are some things then that kind of get magnified and get stronger. And then there are some things that just kind of start to appear. One of those things is oxidation, which these are in cans, so they're sealed pretty good, but there is oxygen that gets inside there. And over time, that changes some of the flavors. One of those being kind of like it's not gonna sound appetizing when I say it, but like a cardboardy kind of thing, which this has. It's good though. It is a good thing. I don't know if you guys can hear my kids crying upstairs, but they're up way too late. Oh yeah, definitely get that oxidized kind of cardboardy thing. And there's still some of that dark kind of fruitiness. All right, I'm gonna dive in. I do like that better. It's more round, almost more kind of smoother, for lack of a better word. The carbonation feels like it's gone away a little bit, which doesn't make a ton of sense, but that's what it feels like. It feels more rounded and kind of maybe even a little some kind of fluffiness to it, if that makes sense. Not fluffy like a New England IPA, like fluffy like a big piece of like soft bread is kind of what the body of the beer feels like. Yeah, the malt is very different, whereas this is almost like a there's a sharpness to that with the hops that kind of cut that malt off, whereas this, all that's gone. That's a beer that's begging just to sit in like a big leather chair with your feet up, reading a book, sipping on this all night long. I like that a lot. In fact, maybe I will sit and drink these and read more about barley wine. Who knows? If you guys want to do this for yourselves, you can. You can go to Westside. You can buy a 4-pack. You can get 2 fresh, 2 aged, and you can drink 2 right now. And then you can take the other 2 and still throw them in the cellar if you have a beer cellar, if you don't start one. And try them again in a couple years and see how much they keep changing. That's the fun of this, is you can just kind of letting things do what they do and kind of experiment with them and see how they change or don't change. They usually change. Sometimes it's not for the better, but this is definitely for the better. This is good. Prost.